Can you hear me? There we go. I think you can hear me now, the sound. I'm going to take these off. Kia ora koutou katoa. Can you hear me? There we go. There we go. I think you can hear. Sound on now. So welcome to a little late night kōrero. You all know who I am. Ko Inez taku ingoa, Inez from Indigenuity, and I'm your valuer, home ownership coach, and whenua Māori coach as well. I bring services and have for some years now to help navigate whānau Māori, specifically whānau Māori, towards their home ownership and whenua Māori and papakainga dreams. And I do that through social media and through storytelling. And tonight I wanted to, we have a number of people who have enrolled on my programs over the last few weeks, and we are getting ready, tēnā koe kiri, we are getting ready for the 1st of November intake for 90-day home ownership challenge. And the kaupapa is to try and really support as many whānau Māori as possible to get prepared and have the best chance that they can to apply for home loans before Christmas, right? And even if you don't get to apply for home loans before Christmas, at the very least, I'm hoping that people will feel confident that they know all of the steps to be able to do so. Yeah? How's that sound? Sound cool? Awesome. And so for those of you who know me, again, you know that I have been working for the last few years to build up a portfolio of videos and courses and my own portals where you can come and watch videos and log in and see my webinars about the kaupapa and every step along the way of home ownership, home loans, whenua Māori papakainga. Cool? And so on the 1st of September, that will be the cutoff date for the intake that will come with me. And from then on, I will be, there'll be other coaches taking my programs. So for those of you lucky people who get to be with me, moving forward for the next 90 days, no mai, haere mai, but I have some tips for you, okay? Having been in this mahi for quite some time now, so 7 years, year 7 now, in this platform here in Indigenuity, and since I was probably about 15 years now in property, both in Australia and in Aotearoa. I'm going to take that blur off. And so one of the things I've noticed is patterns. Patterns. I've noticed patterns in people's behaviors, and the number one things, or the top 3 to 5 things that hold people back. So I thought I'd, 1, come and share them with you, and 2, for those of you who are enrolled, I hope this is some encouragement, like a mini update to keep your spirits high. Okay, so here they are. Let's get this here. All right, so my top of the list here anyway, tip for you all is take a step back. Inez has me, I've designed these programs for whānau who don't have the perfect setup around them. They don't have perfect relationships necessarily, or the perfect money, or the perfect anything. Everything I've achieved, I've tested myself, and I share with you knowledge from my own experience of having achieved whenua Māori, property, building houses, having homes for my whānau, my boys, my children. And I've done it despite the messiness and the chaos that's going on around me, because that's normal life, isn't it? So I've designed all my programs, and built into them is that this is knowledge and programs for imperfect life, okay? Very real, imperfect life. And so I encourage you, just trust, and take a step back. Release yourself from stress and chaos. Just know that if you have enrolled on the program, if you've asked for help, if you've booked me for a consultation, leave the stress for me, okay? And come in just trusting. Hard to do, I know. Indigenuity is different. That's why it's indigenuity. It's knowledge. It's a knowledge base that I'm sharing from a Indigenous Māori perspective, which is that life like whānau life, papakainga life, money life. All these things are somewhat more complex than what we might call mainstream. Yeah, it's not linear. It's complex, and that is why we're called indigenuity and not just ingenuity. It's designed for you. I know that you're coming probably with some stress, chaos, and complexity in behind the scenes. I know because I've assumed that you have, because I have not had any simplicity in my life. And yet I've been able to go boom, boom, boom. I want houses, I want whenua, I want land, I want a future for my mokopuna and my children. And I get it. I didn't say it was damage free or anything. Look at this. You see my videos? I have gone grey on the screen in front of you over the years. It's not meant to be easy. And it's not meant to be perfect, okay? But it is meant to be done, and it is for you. Home ownership, having your own home, having your whenua, building on your land. It is for you, okay? Settle in first, and then pace yourself. Settle in first, and then pace yourself. Settling in means you've paid, you're enrolled. If there's an email from me, I'm not that kind of person who's going to stress you out and make you feel bad because you haven't got all the ingredients for a home loan. No, I'm proud of you for taking the first step, and I'm assuming that you've taken the first step, even though it's imperfect, because that's why you're paying me or my program and my system, is to take the imperfections and help you with a strategic plan that addresses those imperfections and will turn them into your strengths. One of my number one questions I have in my head is, why do people pay me and then not want to talk to me until they have the answer? Because you literally paid me or paid my business to come into a portal of knowledge and to learn and to take what you need, right? Please do that. I really mean it. Don't come with thinking you know it all or thinking you have to know it all. That's what you've paid a professional for. And I do tend to notice the feeling of quite a bit of whakamā, almost like there's a habit from somewhere out there, whether it's the schooling system, the work system, of feeling like you're supposed to have the answer. Hold off, you're not with me, okay? Honesty is the number one thing. Honesty, like, I don't know. I haven't got the answers. I've got stink budget. I've got bad credit. What else would you like to know, Inez? Okay? Approaching it like that, because then I can give you the tools, or me and my coaches can give you the tools to take the best next step, and it's the most efficient. And I've got 15, maybe even 20 years now of experience in property, banks, finance. I've got qualifications. I'm supposed to know. You don't have to know. All right. Next, settling in means pay, trust, go and check your videos, log onto the portal. A lot of the times, people have knowledge that has not come from me. It's come from biased brokers. It's come from banks who don't want to give you loans. It's come from a puta mohi or relative who thinks they know everything about the finance system, about interest rates, and about property. Put it at the gate, okay? Watch some videos, come understand my way, which is actually quite ngāwari. I am strict on some things, like honesty and trust and being imperfect, come as you are, but show up. And then I'm very light on my mind stress. I won't trigger you, okay? I won't try and make you feel inadequate. That's not how I do things. All right. So settling in means settle in, watch the stuff you've been given. It is important. And take the offers I give you, which means if I offer you videos and there's 8 videos to watch, you should watch them. There'll be something in there. Yeah. I find some people think that because I'm going to be like talking about money and wealth and property, that I'm going to be one of those hyper American, like, come on, everybody, you've got to do this. You've got to get off your ass. You've got to hustle, have a side hustle. No, I'm not. Okay. And unless you watch all the content that I provide you, you won't know that. So settle in, watch. If there's an offer, if there are videos, please watch them. Okay. Because you'll come into a consultation with me trying to act like a boss, being like, I need this and I need this and I need this and I need this much money. And I need it by this time. And honestly, I'm going to put my foot down from here on and tell you, no, I'm the boss. I'm the one who's done the hardest deals you can think of in New Zealand's history, almost. And I'm the one who's managed to buy properties with zero deposit. And by leveraging LVR and by understanding valuing. That's why you're paying me, and you are probably not likely going to get a home loan within 3 months or 6 months in Aotearoa at the moment, okay? Unless you're somebody who pays lawyers, accountants, and valuers private consultation fees of between 5 to 15 to 20,000, which is what I do. I do. If you're not paying those kind of fees for expert advice, you aren't in a position to act like a boss in the property industry at the moment. Okay? Love you, but you aren't. So I am fairly prescriptive in pacing yourself. Okay? The fastest way to property home ownership, to whenua, to papakainga and Aotearoa in our current economic climate is by taking the pace I tell you, okay? And if looks like it's too slow, it's probably the fastest option. So I've had a number of people go ahead of me and apply for home loans. Now there is a prescriptive formula to get successful home loan applications, and you are likely going to need my help or a coach's help. That's why I designed the program to make the impossible possible, okay? When you go and apply for a loan, before you have got your everything that I need you to have online, and if you get declined, do you know, any of you watching know, how long you've put your journey behind? 6 months. Yep. There is, you get declined for some reason and it shows up on your credit report. Banks are not being nice at the moment, and they will not say, come back next week. The next bank that sees that you have been declined by a bank for whatever reason is probably going to say, come back in next year, come back in 6 months. Okay. Unless you have a broker who really likes you and wants to work hard for you, and you have a relationship with them that makes them want to work hard for you, the banks and the brokers are going to turn you away. So tai ho. Okay? You apply for loans in the order that you're meant to apply for them, and that's when your coach, like me, says so. Okay? And to those of you in my current group, if you're like, is she talking about me? Probably not. Okay? If I've asked you to apply and it wasn't me, you're not the one I'm talking about. And so here we go. Be very imperfect. with me. With me, not with your lender, not with your broker. You can be very imperfect with me. Okay? Now, being imperfect, what that means is I've noticed stress. Stress has become so consuming out there in the jobs and rent that I understand you're really, really keen to be perfect and get in there, and feeling like you're going to show up to a consultation with me and be imperfect might be make you feel nervous, okay? Don't be. If I say, please provide me some dates and times within the next few weeks that are good for you, just do that, okay? Don't overthink it. Don't try and think for me and say, well, what would you like? Don't try and make it so that you are going to be perfect and zen on that day. Just give me whatever moment you can. Of course, I have to be able to turn up to that same time. But if that's half an hour and I've said to you, hey, you get 2 hours of consultation in your package with me, or you get 4 hours, whatever it is you've said, I would prefer to just give you extra consultations and do, instead of one perfect 2 hour session, I'd rather a 45-minute, a half an hour, just to get to know you, form a relationship, and then we'll book another one, right? I'm a quality, I prefer depth of quality rather than a sterile, rigid consultant process. So just, if I send you an email and say, just tell me what days suit you in the next 4 weeks, I'm probably meaning next week, but I'm saying within the next 4 weeks, because I know what a Māori life is like. I know what a whānau life is like. Okay, and asking you to do something 4 weeks from now is like, well, for me, is like asking me to do something tomorrow. So I get it. And saying that, if you are on the program, if you're committed to your journey, just be imperfect and say, I've only got half an hour next week, or I can do it early in the morning, I can do it. Just say that. And then just turn up and we'll get to know each other. And I'll ask the questions I need to ask. You don't have to tell me information. I will ask you. Okay. And then we'll book a session. And then if I haven't got enough information from you, I'll leave you be. And we'll just book another one. Because there's plenty of videos to be watching in the program in the meantime. So anybody who needs to rush, it does tell me that you haven't engaged in the content, and therefore you might be someone who's high risk to yourself because you want to skip over essential steps in order to get what you want really quickly. Now, a very important tip is that when it comes to any consultant, lawyer, accountant, valuer, architect, whatever, right? If you're paying less than $2,000 or $1,500, you're not getting a consultation. Yeah. The proper consultation work starts from $2,000 and above. That's consultation is when you don't know the answer. So you're paying someone else to know the answer and give it to you, right? So any program, including mine, where you're not paying that kind of money, so if you're not paying me, a consultant or a coach, to give you the answer, it means you're paying at a price point where you're saying, I'm willing to learn something because I'm not paying enough for a consultant to give me the answer. You see what I mean? Business people don't go out and become accountants. They pay an accountant to just give them the answer, or a lawyer to give them the answer. And as a business person, I don't expect to understand it. I don't have to. I have to trust it. But I do expect that I will pay thousands or hundreds of dollars for someone else's brilliant expertise. Now, if I can't afford that kind of price. I'm going to go on a course and I'm going to exchange getting the answer straight away from an expert, and I'm going to pay less money. And what I will be doing though is investing my time and energy into understanding it myself. And so when you come on my program, that's the option you're choosing. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to have the answer and have a home loan when you haven't got all your ducks in a row, then you need to be paying for a consultant. And for example, my consultant packages start minimum $15,750, so $1,500, $1,500, so $1,575, mostly around $5,000 and above for consultant packages. That's when I have the answers, you leave the problem with me, and I figure it out for you, and I give you the answer, and I give you the result. You're not at that point if you're in any kind of education program, and even paying less than $1,000, you must take on board learning. So for the last few years, I've focused on that kind of style because, I've come from a background where I can just put in invoices and say, charge thousands, $350 an hour. But it doesn't serve our whānau vision, whānau Māori vision of whenua and papakainga and home ownership. I believe that we do want to know more. Collectively, we don't want to be just told by the lawyers and the accountants anymore the answers while they keep the knowledge to themselves. Are we? We're moving on from that. Yes, we are. And so my business won't be a part of that, where I'm not going to hold on to knowledge so that I can make heaps and heaps of money, and that we as a collective continue to suffer from knowledge poverty. Ka pai? And that is my way of saying you're going to watch the videos I give you, and you're going to take the notes that I tell you, and you're going to take the steps I take, because what experience you go through is what you're going to hand on to your children and your mokopuna. Okay? What you learn from the processes you go through with me is, number one, you have a higher chance of being successful. But most importantly, I believe you'll have something to leave to your kids and your mokopuna. You'll be able to have a kōrero around the kai table one day and teach them about how to buy their first home, how to build on their papakainga, how to live in a transportable, ka pai? Or build a transportable. Our knowledge will not be held by other people anymore. Yeah, that's correct. And with that, you pay me to hold space. So let me. Okay? I may not always just come back and be like immediate person. Send me an email, want an answer on a home loan, I may not be an immediate reply person. Do you know why? Because I'm thinking. Because I know what I'm doing, and I'm taking a moment to think about all the risks that might be in front of you, behind you, and to the side, that I know what they look like, you don't know what they look like. Okay, and so let me hold space for you. That means come as you are, turn up to your first consultations, book them with me. If I offer you phone calls, have a phone call. Yeah, just have a phone call. All right. Share your information. So me holding space is me keeping a private space for you in confidence. Telling me everything I need to know. The imperfections means me, my coaches, our program can support you in the next steps. Okay? Which is, my programs are designed to help whānau Māori to navigate towards their first home ownership, papakainga, and building on whenua Māori. And I do this through social media and through storytelling and obviously my online programs. Okay, so that our mokopuna do not have to be tenants in Aotearoa.